Okay, this is from my friend Chelsea Lee, and she saw this on the DIY network, do-it-yourself network, building off grid. And these people have a house somewhere up in here. And she noticed these were fingers, and she's 100% correct. Those are fingers. And that is that strappy little tendon, and that is the side tendons that come and they grab right around in those little corners that I told you about. Now, is that the big toe? I think it is. Originally, I had thought we maybe had this, that these were the fingers up here. But that is not, that it doesn't fit the correct. I thought originally we had something like this, and this was just mud sticking up. I really don't know. I'd love to see somebody do an investigation on there, but I can tell you one thing, I'm 100% certain of this. That is the tendon that straps around. Obviously, those are fingernails. These are the fingers, and that is the tendon on the side, and it cuts right in there just like that to hold, to do this. And again, an anatomist, somebody that understands the biology extremely well, somebody in the autopsy range would understand exactly what they are looking at. Not hard to see, if you're skilled at it. It's not the average person, because I don't think anybody saw it except Chelsea. I mean, a fabulous call by Chelsea, because I don't think anybody else saw this. And she's been doing some work on this, doing a lot of work on this, and I applaud her for not just brushing it off casually, because these things, this is something that's kind of important. If this is factual, which absolutely without question it is. I have DNA tests and reports of all my specimens that I am claiming that are giants. Of the two that I have here that are giants. One's over 200 feet tall. The finger itself, the fingertip, is 30 inches plus wide. Just the tip of the finger. So, this relates to the things that were written in the past. The things that were written in the past relate to the things that are happening now, and quite likely the things that are going to be in the future, because they talked about them and they seemed to think they knew about them. So you can think whatever you want. I'm taking a couple of different steps into this. I'm going a little deeper, a little deeper, a little deeper every day. And it just keeps getting deeper, my friends. I mean, it deep as deep you could ever possibly imagine at this point. So, think of it the way you want to think about it, but Mudfossil University is going to dig every corner and clean them all out, dust them all out, and see what's under there. All right, God bless you, thanks. All right, we're not going to get too deep into this, but there's these straps that come down, and they go right onto the top of the toes, and then there's also ones that come around the edge and they anchor in like on an angle, and I'll show you one of the ones I have here. This is a fingertip from a giant that I had DNA certified. That is the distal phalanges bone. You can see that black. I hope you can see that. That's the bone silhouette, they call that, and that is the farthest forward. That is the vein, and that's the artery. The veins do not blow out, but you see that right there? See that angle? That is the attachment of the ligament on the side. Now, there was another one over here, but it pretty much blew out because the arteries blow out. And that artery, vein, 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 vein. They do not blow out on the vein side. Now, I have another fingertip from this that shows this much better, this angle, and it did not erode. That one there, I got DNA certified just to verify. This is a thumb. I believe this was a right thumb, left thumb it was, I believe, and that's the end, the vein side. See the black? That's the vein side, and that's the artery side, the red. Now, you see that angle right there? You see how defined that is? That's where the ligaments come in and they grab right around the side. Same thing with over here. Now, we're going to look, and that's the pad on the bottom. That's the pad. That's where the apical tuft sits. Now, one of the side of this hand was totally eroded. and the other side wasn't. And that's an apical tuft, which sits right at the very tip. It's right there. From, but obviously it's not in there. It's eroded out. But any autopsy guy, anybody anatomist is going to understand this, hopefully. Now, they don't just come giants. This is a lung from a human being, and it's human. It's been DNA certified human. And that's the depression of the heart. It's a left lung. You see how flat that is? They're all flat like that because this is all from the Great Flood. And they all died, drowned, and just laid flat as blobs of flesh. And they worked all that flesh and used it to make buildings and everything else. Now, that's a bone. And that bone has no bone left except that bone right there. Now, that's a bone. I mean, that's what can I tell you? And they don't like to see these things because they don't conform to what they consider a bone to be, the white things. Now, that is what they call the tunica. You can see that little strap, that little triangle looking thing. It's just like a crescent roll wrapping right around it. That's what it did. That's what protected these bones. Because you probably don't know this, but in your body, bones are not exposed to the salt. Similar to the rest of your body. They are sequestered away from that salt somehow by this tunica that keeps the salt out of your bones. And if it gets invaded and this membrane gets destroyed, your bones will get acidosis. And they get invaded by different chemistry that'll chew them up. So anyway, this is very real stuff. This is not silly. And that right in there, if you can see inside that, with the little holes there. You see that? That's a ligament. A ligament attaches a bone to a bone so they can wobble around a little bit, but they won't fall apart. And that's how strongly held they are. There's a ball in there, and it has a bunch of other balls and fibers, and it just holds you tight. And these little strappy tendons, man, they are tough. Well, this also is a fingerprint. Now, do you notice these little dots in there? Those are like sweat glands. Guess what that is? That also is a fingerprint. And I'm going to try to make it so you can see these sweat glands. It's hard to angle it just right. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. You see them? I don't know if you can see that or not. But this is the skin where it comes up like right behind. I think this was a thumb, the one that I'm going to be showing you. But these are the actual fingerprints. I mean, that's what they are. And the little holes are in there. If you can see or not, but you see it? Boom, 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 boom. And those are the actual fingerprint lines. Big finger. Now, this was from a video of a video, and probably a video of a video. Now, I'm going to just let myself talk, and here I go. 15 feet. So that's the way things are. There's the anatomical drawing of skin. Those are the sweat pores. That's exactly what you have at Stonehenge. All right, this fingertip. All right, that is the fingertip that I have on my property, my giant. Now, it's 30 inches, right around 30 inches, something like that. I think it's a thumb. And there's other fingerprints laying around. I have another one in the shop out here, and I know where the guy is lying because it's a depression of totally moss. You know, when you get that moss and lichen growing on stones and in areas where these red body parts were, body flesh really is what it loves. It loves flesh, lichen and moss. I mean, I've talked about this for a very long time. Now, anyway, this was a second one about Stonehenge, because Stonehenge is 100% body parts, 100%. They didn't go to any sarsen stones for any of this. I show all of this stuff. I mean, these are body parts. You know, I can show the red blood, I show the tissues, I show everything. The heel stone here, that's a foot. Anybody can't see that's a foot. I don't know what to, I don't know what to say. That's the heel stone. It's called the heel stone. Duh. Where's the clue missing here? And they told me never to bother them again because I mentioned it to them that they might have a foot on their property. So, anyway, that's just, nobody wants to know the real truth or the real facts. It's overwhelming, it's mind boggling, spectacular by any standard, yes. True, yes. Meaningful, I think so. It's up to you. All right, this is the website. We're sort of working on it. We'll be getting it going pretty soon. I need to drag Tyson into this. He's got a spectacular site, and he's engaged. He's a good guy. He knows a lot, and he's got a lot to offer. So he is going to be probably in charge almost. But anyway, this comes down to DNA report. Is all the things I've showed. This is a DNA reports to back it up. There's 3 of them. This goes back to 2015, 4 years ago plus. Now, and I said 36-inch tip. That was a little exaggeration. I think I was going front to back, but it's about 30 inches wide, somewhere around there. That long, and then the other one was from the smaller giant, which was about 60 feet tall. And they did it. It's all ancient protocols and all the stuff they do. Negative controls and PCR, this and that. I mean, I don't know. But all I know is they found, he said it was dense DNA on 2 of the 3 samples. One of them I knew was not going to be dense because it was extremely eroded. But I wanted to see if it would hold DNA, and it did. But these 2, the lung and the big tip, had very dense DNA, he said. The other one was the one that I showed, the carbon, maybe I didn't even show it to you, but it was heavily eroded. But it still had the signature of the mitochondrial DNA. The other ones were just dense. He said they were dense for ancients. But I take it right out of the arterial blood supply. So they should be dense. That's all that's in there. And they get sequestered. There's things they call ligands that sequester means, which is to surround and remove from the environment metal complexes. And a metal complex contains the hemoglobin. The hemoglobin contains DNA. The DNA contains the codes we're looking for to see if they contain the sequences that are significant to whatever they were. And it doesn't. We didn't know what they were. It wasn't like, tell me this is a human. No. Well, I mean, I probably did say, tell me it's a human. But that's not what he did. He put it into what they call a blast or something like that. It was just called a DNA. All of the creatures have been alive now or ever were alive are in this database that they know of. And it matched up to Homo sapien, mitochondrial, cytochrome B, and another one. And here they are, right here. This is CTAGs all over the place. You got your CTAGs right here. All right, so this is nice. It's a regular certified lab, verified. So what do you want from that? Now, he's not saying these are giants. Somebody attacked him and said, "Oh, you're saying there's giants." No, he didn't. The lab director not ever said these were giants. He said, "What you sent me here is the analysis of it." That's all I'm saying, because I know what I sent him. And you saw what I sent them, so you make your own decision. People that are so against any new knowledge will pick up on, they just hate new knowledge. Absolutely despise the fact that they could possibly be wrong. And when they find out how wrong they are just mortified. Now you got to reach reality at some point in your life or just waste it, so it's up to you. Mudfossil University, we're going to take it right to the end. It just keeps getting deeper and deeper, and we just keep digging and digging. Tyson is going to be heavily involved. Tyson, you hear me, brother? You are going to be heavily involved, man. And Tyson's overwhelmed, too. As soon as you start into this, like I said, you just can't stop digging, or you just stop. Because there's always somewhere else to go. It's not like you get to the end and that's it, I'm going home. No. Anyway, end the story for today. God bless you all, and to all a good night.